How can you positively use students' cultural experiences in your teaching? Would the investment be worth the returns? Research have shown that students are usually very intellectual in context, and some of this is due to stereotypical biases and cultural equity value. Students can be very masterful with words in poetry, mathematically skilled in supporting their household, language rich in a range of languages spoken, and still struggle to demonstrate this in accredited academics. Let's explore culturally responsive teaching and learning to see the impact it can have on learners when it is put in practice. Culturally responsive teaching portrays teachers as empathetic and caring. Students consider these teachers to be reflective about their beliefs of people from other cultures, and that they see the limitation in using only one story or their own cultural references and frames, and that they care to invest the time, effort and energy in becoming knowledgeable about other cultures and utilizing them for the advantage of the students that they are teaching. These noticeable considerations place teachers in a different light in the minds of students. Students are more open to absorb ideologies from these teachers and thrive as they are learning the new knowledge that they are sharing. This is primarily because students recognize that these teachers are artfully bridging the cultural divide of learning. After all, a primary goal of culturally responsive teaching is to ensure that students from diverse backgrounds have meaningful opportunities to experience quality instruction that consistently incorporates cultural components to support their learning and their learning experiences. The core components of culturally responsive teaching are underpinned by teachers' perspectives, their preconceived stereotypes, and their determination to create the best learning environment and utilize the most impactful pedagogies that will result in maximum accomplishments for students regardless of their backgrounds. This means teachers will need to hold positive perspective on parents and families and communicate high expectations of learning at all levels of education. They need to provide learning within a context of culture and use culturally mediated instructions. Schools, faculties and educators need to reshape the curriculum to provide more student-centered instructions as they facilitate students' learning. The core principles of culturally responsive teaching are pedagogies that are already well explored and used in learning environments. Nevertheless, using them intentionally and instrumentally for students' outcome is the consistency and purposefulness that makes the difference. Teachers need to communicate high expectations of all students. They need to utilize active learning and differentiated teaching methodologies. Teachers are responsible for identifying and nurturing students' strengths and consistently and consciously include cultural and linguistic diversity in their teaching strategies. Teachers need to be culturally aware and sensitive and provide a supportive learning environment that reflects the culture of all their students. In the pursuit of becoming a culturally responsive teacher, it is important that teachers invest the time to learn about their students. This could be through interviews, dialogues, contact with home, productive conversations with other teachers, and observations in different contexts. Teachers could integrate relevant words, names, or problems in context that students can personally identify with and see as relevant and non-abstract. Teachers can introduce new concepts by using student vocabulary and then bring them up to the academic or subject-specific vocabulary that students need for mastery. Additionally, teachers can bring in guest speakers from different backgrounds, include all students in discussions in lessons, use games as a teaching tool, or deliver different form of content using various learning vehicles that students could identify with to see themselves in the process. Students could explain cultural methodologies before other methods are imposed. Students could be allowed to explain cultural comprehension of subject areas and then given the scope to expound on it. This way, their education is not separate to or foreign to their culture and hence establishes some cultural buy-in from students. Furthermore, these efforts give students that sense of belonging, self-belief, and confidence to inspire and aspire them to do more. And this also contributes to empowering parents to be able to support their students better at home with their learning and with completing and understanding the concepts that are taught in schools. Culturally responsive teaching acknowledges that there's nothing wrong with traditional contexts and showcase a deep effort to include experiences from other cultures, which provides a needed hook or anchor for students to draw inferences from their past experiences in better understanding the new learning context. This makes learning more experimental, tactile, and experiential. Students also develop a better understanding of the world. They see it as a multicultural community with varying interpretations and draw meaningful conclusions from what they see and from what they're learning and taking their own meanings to their own current realities. Culturally responsive strategies can have important benefits through appropriately integrating it into classroom instructions. These approaches strengthen students' sense of identity, removing some barriers to learning, promotes inclusivity and human understanding in the classroom. It enhances engagement in course materials and abstract cognition, and supports critical thinking. When students have a tangible, relevant and functional connection with the information that they are learning, that connection brings context and makes students more readily receptive to learning. Equally, students being able to pull from their cultural experiences is a demonstration of the importance of the education that they are learning and improves inclusivity and diversity. Incorporating culturally responsive teaching in your classroom is a win-win for all parties. It supports individuals from other cultures to better access the learning and make the progress that they are inherently capable of. It provides other learners with a broader understanding of the world they are living in and their working realities. It gives teachers the appreciating returns on their investments in the outcomes of all their students. All round, it produces more proficient citizens for tomorrow, because when all groups of people succeed, we all succeed. As students champion, will we as teachers all rise to this remarkable occasion of transforming our classrooms for the benefit of unadulterated learning?